The name Rajavi is synonymous with freedom and a hope for a better future. In America, synonymous with the fight against terrorism and for freedom is the name Giuliani. It is my pleasure to bring you the former mayor of the great city of New York, Rudy Giuliani.
Thank you, and I'm very honored to be here with all of you and so many distinguished speakers and patrons and guests. And I am so overjoyed by the focus of this conference, the theme of this conference, the hashtag for this conference, Free Iran. We also wouldn't be here today without the leadership of Madam Rajavi through the difficult times and the good times and the horrible times. She's always remained hopeful that we could stand up and say, Free Iran. Well, we now can do that. And under President Trump's leadership, I believe he can help us rid the Iranian people of the oppression that has subjected them for so long. You only need to read his speech in Saudi Arabia to see that he is laser focused on the danger of Iran to the freedom of the world, not just the freedom of the region, but the freedom of the world. And he also realizes, as we do, that the only way we're going to have stability in the Middle East and stability in the world is exactly the theme of your conference, a free Iran. You stand for freedom of religion. You stand for freedom for women. You stand for free elections. You stand for the rule of law. You stand for respecting human dignity and human rights. That's what we need in Iran, and that's why you're the hope of Iran. We got here by the blood of those martyrs and the work of those people and Madam Rajavi and your work. We didn't get here easily. We can see being able to convince the world that there are no moderate members of the present Iranian regime. When I hear the word moderate, and I hear the name Rouhani, I think of the fact that he has actually killed more people in Iran than Ahmadinejad. Maybe he shouldn't be so moderate. As Madam Rajavi said, it is long past time to declare the Revolutionary Guard a terrorist organization. They have on their hands the blood of so many of your people, but they have on their hands the blood of my people, too, who they helped to kill in Iraq, and who they've helped to kill for years, and who they've held hostage. If they're not a terrorist organization, there is no such thing as a terrorist organization, and we should declare them a terrorist organization so we can cut them off for support around the world. And that's why there is nothing radical, there's nothing extraordinary. It's just a matter of common sense and self-defense that we say there must be regime change in Iran. It's inevitable. It is going to happen. Regime change in Iran is going to happen. The people of Iran, who you know better than I do, will at some point, they will just rebel. Maybe a few years ago, well, we support you. And it is our job not to affect regime change in Iran. That's going to happen. It's to make it happen now. Not only do we have regime change, but we have an alternative, and that alternative is you. It's a democratic alternative. It's a force for change. It's well organized. It has popular support, and it has a vast network of supporters. And whoever doesn't believe that, I ask them to do two things. Take a look at how many of your fellow compatriots are murdered by the regime. Think of how frightened the regime in Iran is of the MEK. That will tell you how strong you are. And second, come and look at this gathering from all around the world. And it's the murder and the oppression of the government that is stopping that from happening. And we have to break that loose. And supporting the MEK is one of the reasons and one of the ways to break that loose under the leadership of a great hero, Madam Rajavi. I'm here today much happier than any time I have been here, because we no longer have some of our brothers and sisters stuck in Iraq. I'm happy that I'm here today because I truly believe what I've said and what Madam Rajavi said and what many of the speakers are going to say, that a freer Iran is on the horizon. But I'm happiest to be here because finally I can say, and I can probably say this with a good deal of authority, that the government of the United States supports you. We're behind you. We agree with your values. The government of the United States understands the danger of Iran. The government of the United States will not allow Iran to become an empire in the Middle East. And the United States of America will not allow Iran to become a nuclear power under any circumstances.